Hello, everybody. Oh, my goodness. What a night. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Sharon, and it's evening over here in Melbourne, and I believe it's the same in Perth. So, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And for those who've been with us for the past few weeks, we've been having different discussions. In the first week, we were talking about we looked at skepticism, how people look at different opportunities, and think how do they move forward. And in the second week, we were talking about how do you then know what to pursue. And today we'll be taking a different direction where we are talking about experience. In a world that's got a lot of things moving in different directions, new things coming into play, and you just don't know, is experience the best thing or is it overrated? So before I get all excited and jump into it, I would like to let the ladies on the screen introduce themselves. So I'll give this chance to you, Nashley.
Thank you so much, Sharon, and good evening to everyone. And my name is Nashley from Perth, Australia, mom of two beautiful girls and a proud digital business owner. So thank you, and great to have you on here. Back to you now, Sharon.
Thank you. And over to you, Rijeko.
Thank you, beautiful ladies. So, my name is Rujeko. I am streaming live from Melbourne, here in Australia. I am a mom of two, a registered nurse, and I am a very passionate digital business owner. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, ladies. I'm really looking forward to what you guys are going to share with us today on here because it's always exciting when I'm on here with you. So we'll jump straight onto it, ladies. And I'll probably direct this one to you, Nashley. Um, may you please share why do I find that a lot of people when they start, when they are new, they seem to be accelerating in terms of performance and even results more than those who have experience. So why do you think those newcomers sometimes outperform people who have years and years of experience?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sharon. So it's a really great question because from experience and from things that I see day to day, to be honest, you find that a lot of people come and hit the ground running when you are less experienced or you barely have anything you know much about. Say if it's a business system, say if it's a new kind of job or it's a new field that you're starting to work in because you have, I guess, no map really that was set for you in your old patterns. Because what happens, which I find in this day, is when you've learned a lot of the time, a lot of things through the years from experience of things you've done, the moment that you come into a new place, you feel that you've got the same habits following you around. You still want to apply the same skill set. You still want to apply the same, tools and things that you'd have learned along the way. Then you starting to follow a new pattern. Whereas someone who's a newcomer in anything, they are usually coming on a clean slate. They have nothing to guide them other than what they're being told in that moment, which is easier for the brain to even just adapt, for them to pick up new skills, pick up things that they're being taught, a step by step training, and just simple steps into what they need to do. And which is why that they also can excel because now the factor that have them driving their force is their power for success or their power to just do better in whatever skill that they're trying to, learn or advance in. So it's a few factors that could sort of factor into how we can find that people excel or just do better. Much like an example, which I like practical examples in this business, I find that people start their business in their very first, say 2 months, 3 months, they've hit the ground running because they're hungry for that power
Mm,
to to do better, and their results could be exponential more than someone who's been in the business for maybe 2 years. And
mm,
that brings about the difference, which many people sometimes do ask, oh, naturally, how quick can I get results? It's these little things that when it's put into play, I can't tell you how long it could take you because I don't know what drives you. I don't know your why. I don't know how quick you want to have your results and your success. So it's
mm,
very much those factors which can make our difference, in our results. But definitely for newcomers, you're better off because you usually have nothing to start. You're starting from scratch and you're learning a new system that you pretty much are plugging into and having a go. To say, look, I want to aim for this, and you do that. Much different from a veteran who has had experience. They think probably like, look, I've been through this before. It's a war. I'll do this. So because they have the mentality of I know this, they might be a bit reluctant, or they just think they know it all. So that sort of things can vary on how we get our results between newcomer and an experienced person. So thanks, Sharon. I'll give it back to you.
Oh, I agree, Nashli. Thank you. That's amazing. And you're definitely right. I find for people who have experience, um, when newcomers come in, like they don't have anything to unlearn. It's so hard for someone who's done something, say, for 20 years to forget that and just jump onto something new straight away. But for someone who's new, they don't need that time to unlearn anything. And like you say, they remain curious, they remain wanting more information. They're just, overzealous sometimes, I say, and they just want to go and get it. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. So we'll just build on to that. So, Rujiko, I'll direct this one to you. What helps some people stay open? Some people are just receptive of new ideas, new information. So, what helps people stay open to those new ideas while others remain rigid in their old ways? Some just become set in their ways. So, what helps people? Do you reckon? Yeah, I'll probably leave you to answer that, to share on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharon. Apologies, guys, if you're watching us. I know our network is a little bit shaky at the moment, but I hope you can hear us wherever you are loud and clear. I just quickly want to add on to Nashli there. It's just a point that
Sure.
sprang onto me as she was speaking. I said, oh, yes. I think another thing, Nashli, I just wanted to add is do you know there are some people who are just naturally gifted in what they do? So I may
Oh
have
yeah.
done it for years and years and years. They come on, they've done it, only 1 month, and woof, a lot is happening. They're already excelling. They're getting results. More than 10 people have been there for 6 years. And it's
Mhm.
about honoring that person's gift. It's in their blood.
Yeah.
It's a gift. It's a talent. And I think sometimes, I guess, that's why people who've done it for a short space of time may just come, and it just seems like, whoa, they're just going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
excelling, but it's because it's the gift. I think in Shona would say, "Munhu anenge angori nechipo chake zvinenge zvingori
Yeah.
muropa." We're
Mm.
all gifted differently, and it's
Mm.
important to make a point as well at the same time to say that's why it's important never to compare ourselves, because we come slow differently, we
Yeah.
learn differently. Some come fast. How we say, in layman's terms, we say there are some who are late bloomers, there are some who
Mm.
are early bloomers. So we are
True.
different in our own ways, we are
We're
special in our
different.
own ways.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we are not getting there. Yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
just answering to your question, right? Can you repeat it for me? Sorry.
Sure. What helps? What helps some people to stay open, to be receptive to new ideas, while others, remain set in their old ways of doing things.
Beautiful. Uh, you know what? It's actually quite interesting because we were talking about this yesterday in the show I had with another panelist, and just exactly as you have put it. And I think one of the reasons that it happens like that, a lot of people fear judgment,
Mm.
and they're looking for what we would say psychological safetiness, right? Because there's a lot that they want to protect. Maybe it's their status, maybe it's their self-respect. I don't know. And so yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why maybe they're not so open to new ideas. And we were actually talking of it in the context of, encouraging people to be open to new ideas, open
Yeah.
to doing things in a new way,
Mm,
open to, for example, financially, open to explore, especially here in diaspora, opportunities that are there where you will be surprised that you'll be earning more than your regular day job. But because of that psychological safety, because we fear judgment,
mm,
and I think another point is because some people actually lack what we call a growth mindset.
mm,
It's, we're doing things the way we've always done it 20 years ago, and that's how it is.
mm,
And I think it's quite common, especially in our elder generation. There are some who are quite flexible, who are open to new ideas in the elder generation, but I would say 70%, it's like you can never teach an old dog new
I would do.
tricks. You can't. To them, you cannot outsmart me. This is how I've always
Mm,
done it.
yep, yep.
But it's that lack of just that growth mindset, and it's important, especially now in the 20th centuries, where things are changing so fast, and you want to keep up with the times. You want to keep up. You look at these Gen Zs. You know.
Mm,
Um, when we were in high school, they were not even born. But if you look at the assets they've accumulated,
I know.
I'm in my 40s and I'm still struggling with A, B, C, and D. And you look, this Gen Z has
I
found a
know.
new way of doing things.
Yeah.
They're not stuck in one country, they are moving
No.
all over, every country, back and forth, and still
Mm,
making the money. Ask
mm,
yourself why. So that growth mindset is very important. We need to
mm,
allow
mm.
ourselves to learn new things,
Yep.
discover new things, learn new opportunities, research on them. How are these people doing it? We're certainly not encouraging people to earn money in the wrong way, so to speak, but
Mm,
we are talking of a very straightforward pathway that does exist. Ask, inquire, research, just have that growth mindset, that ability to learn new ideas, sink it in, research, find out how others are doing, mix and mingle with people who are doing new things, find out how are they doing it. And especially if you are in here in diaspora, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. So yeah, that's what I have to share today. Back to
mm.
you, Sharon.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for that, Rejeko. And I agree with you. I also find that it comes down to humility. Like you were saying,
Oh
just
yeah.
stay open to, learning new information and stuff like that. But I
Mm,
find for some people it's really hard to just receive that new information. Imagine a person, say, who's done something for 20 years, getting someone, a Gen Z, telling them, oh, this is how you do it. So some people, if you don't have that humility to just go like, oh, okay,
mm,
I'll remain open to learning, even though they haven't done this forever, but it's a new way of doing things. But if you
mm,
let your ego rise and not be open to that learning, I guess
mm,
it shuts off that
mm,
learning new things curve kind of thing. So thank you
mm,
so much. That was amazing. So we'll move on to our final question. Nashli, if you can answer this one for us. Do you think experience teaches people what works or what used to
mm.
work? Do you think people experience teaches people what works or what used to work?
Thank you so much, Sharon. I've got two kids trying to get on top of my left right now, so it's a bit chaos here.
This
But
is why we love
this
our
is why we
job.
love our job. I'm a
Yeah.
mom and I
Yes.
can't step away from it, so it's a fun and but anyway, I will say something. I will say something from that. Thank you, Roger, for sharing that. That was really
Mm,
good. And I agree with everything you said. Now, when it comes to if experience does teach us what this question actually reminds me of a topic we had a little while ago. Of what we were told, is it still applying? Is it working? Is the experience we were taught to acquire all these years applying to what you're doing now. Was it a degree? Was it a qualification so that you can get that better earning job and stuff? So it's a matter of in that trap of what works now, what worked before might not work today. What I find nowadays is the world as evolving as it is now, we are continuously seeing that people are needing to pivoting to things that that are applying to today's day and age. Just
mm,
today, I went in for um, just for self pampering or my eyelash tech, and she's telling me there's now something new, like a special glue that doesn't do your eyes something. Like I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. I just thought, girls,
okay.
still sit still. I can't have you both on my lap. I can't feed you both. Okay, get a chair. So I just laughed at the idea. I was saying, oh my goodness, like, why is it feeling like right now? It feels like everything that is happening now, if it's maybe 50 years ago, things were not changing that rapid. Like, whereas now, everything is rapidly changing. Everyone is feeling like they're very innovative. There's people coming up with brilliant ideas, people coming up with ways to make, income online, even building systems that actually support people's well-being better. And moving those those things we would have had the way it was before. Now everything is shifting into a space where we're continuously having things working better for us. People are building, like those robo vacuums that can clean your house whilst you sit and they mop the
Mm.
floor. Whereas before
Who
this wasn't.
knew? Mm,
It's impressive how the world we're living in now, things are continuing. There's a shift, and it's happening too quick, like quick to even before you have caught up with the latest thing that happened last year. There's a new thing this year. So because of that, it tells you that a lot of things that are happening around us, we are constantly needing to also evolve within ourselves to pivot in moments where we feel certain things are not helping or supporting us. A traditional job is no longer working. What do you do? Is there perhaps something you can do so that you don't have to keep giving a lot more hours to your job because you can't keep up with the bills and everything? You might just need to pivot and look at something else. An online business, what does it require? What is a system that I can put in place to help me and have do heavy lifting, whilst I can spend time with my kids, whilst I can take them in for a basketball game, or whilst I can drop them off at a school? So it's those little things that I'm like, I guess that's where the world is now. And if you're not moving with it, the world doesn't wait for us to sort of catch up. You're just going to be left behind. Those are going to be the front line, are those who are, keeping up to date and trying to make sure you know as much as you can with whatever you have now, resources you have. Because again, it's a matter of the difference which splits us between people who are actively doing something to adjust and make sure they're not being left behind, are those who are, tired of being, living in poverty or thinking that they don't have what it takes.
mm,
Whereas in that mindset of, look, I can do this, work with what you have. The business, for instance, in our business system, it meets you where you are. I think it can be afforded by anyone who simply wants to invest in themselves, to say, look, I want to learn. I want to start building something for myself, something to my name, rather than sitting and saying, oh, look, it's for people who can speak. It's for people who, I'm an introvert, because we
Mm,
all have reasons that we can keep us where we are. But
mm,
again, if you
mm,
don't make those changes that are necessary as the world is changing, then unfortunately, we will have to, leave you behind whilst the train goes with the rest of us. So it's an interesting one, but that is how I look at it. If anything, people are constantly pivoting into whatever the shift, allowing yourself to do the shift when it's needed, being able
mm,
to
mm.
take a step which is brave enough to say, look, as much as I'm scared and I'm not so sure, do it anyway, because you can't know from the other side of the wall. So that is probably what I would say for that one, Sharon. I hope I wasn't
Mm, mm. Thank you.
mumbling
Thank
too
that.
much, because when you've got kids,
Uh,
but that's how I would
that's
say
all
it.
right. You did great. Thank you. Feel free to mute yourself when you're ready. Yeah. Also, thank you, Nashli. That's great. So I do agree with you. And personally, when I think of this topic we're talking about, I actually think experience is valuable. Like we need experience. Like it gives us the principles. It's important. However, experience without constant learning, that's overrated. So whatever experience you may have, be open to that constant learning because things are changing. Technology, like the lady said, all the other things, changing ways of doing things, systems. So if you only hold on to experience, you may be left behind, as Nashley has already said. So, Nashley did mention also a bit about business. And normally, when we talk about who we are, we also say we're digital business owners. So, I just thought maybe before we close, we maybe let people know what that means, what really we are into, or a little bit about what this business is about. Rijeko, may you please share with our audience so they can have a bit of an idea? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sharon. And no better time, especially now when we're having a promotion. I think we've got 3 more days left.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're still just sitting and you're a CC camera, you're sitting on the borderlines and you're watching us, no better time than to jump into our system this weekend and just get
Mhm,
into it. Look, what do we do? What we do is very easy, very simple. We are digital marketers. What we do is we do what you call market attraction. So
mm,
we are affiliated with products, and we do have a mother company that we're affiliated with. However, for us, we simply work online. We work
mm,
online, and a lot of us chose to do this because of the convenience of working online. Number one, you're working from home. Or wherever you are remotely, you can work. If you're on a lunch break, you can work. If you're on your way, you're probably going out somewhere with your family, you're going for dinner, you still have 5 minutes to log on and you can work. So it's so convenient for you to be able to put this business in your pocket. The training is available. Our training is video based. We will always have a mentor, you will always have a coach. And apart from that, we have over 200,000 entrepreneurs who are members within our community who are there to help you. A very good example here, Nashley and Sharon. I do not know them, I've never met them physically, but in the community is where I met them. And look, we are all like-minded. We think the same. We are so driven. We know what we want. We know what
mm,
we want to achieve. We are focused, and because we
mm,
are like-minded, it's so easy to collaborate and be able, to do, for example, the work that we're doing, the live you're seeing now. It's a collaboration. We're working together, and what
mm,
we love about it, you look at Nashley, you look at myself, you look at Sharon. I also have children who are in the background right now watching television. I think it's the same for Sharon, her children in the
yeah.
background. They're not as young as Nashley, so they're not jumping on our laps, but it's so good and flexible because, she gets to be with her kids as she's doing her work right now. What we do is when we do this market attraction and we literally just work online, we using the automated systems that are there for us in the system. They help us. They probably do 80% of the work for us, really, and it makes it easy. It makes it a plug and play. When we have people that we have attracted who are plugged into the system, this is how we get paid. We don't get involved in the selling. The selling all happens in the background in the system. So the system itself, it helps us to close in the sale for us. So basically what we are doing is market attraction. You choose the platform on which you want to leverage. Do you want to work on Facebook? Do you want to work on YouTube? Do you want to work on TikTok? Some people are actually working different platforms here,
Mm,
on Instagram, you name it. You choose what works for you, and that's where you're actually going to be doing your market attraction. So as I say, there's training. You'll be with a mentor, you are taught, and I can hear so many voices saying, oh, I can never talk like you, Rujeko. You know what? I know that is the argument I face.
yeah.
When I'm speaking with most of the leads in the background, they love the idea, but they feel like, oh my God, I can never talk.
I
Guess
can
what?
talk.
None of us could ever talk.
You're right.
If I tell you I have been on Facebook for over 8 years, I was just a CCTV camera. I was so scared of even posting pictures of myself and pictures of my kids. Ask my family members, they will tell you. They're a testament to that. But there is something about this business that
Mm,
drives you to grow. That drives you to grow. I tell you what, my first ever live, I did it for 2 minutes. I came on live on the Facebook page and I just said, "Hi, guys. How are you all doing? Nice to see you." I
good
just
on
came
you.
to pop by and say hi, and I closed. And that's how it starts. Before you know it, my lives they range from, I don't know, 15 minutes to an hour. I'm just talking, but
Wow.
I've never. It's a job I've never done. But there's something about this business that drives. It drives you to do it. It
Mm,
drives you to do it because at the end of the day, with this job, how you work is how you're going to get the results. So if you know you're after the results, then you better get working.
mm,
And because you're your own boss, no one else is going to come and do this working for me. I have to do it. And I believe it's the same for these ladies here. We all had to learn. We all had to grow in that way. I think that's the most challenging
mm,
part I find, especially when we are addressing to our audience. It's a lot of people
yeah.
feel like, well, I don't think I can talk like you do. You can, you will, and you will learn and you will grow. But yeah, that's what we do in a nutshell. Yeah, back to you,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Thanks, Rejeko. Oh, that was great. And you're definitely right. I was the same. Like, I was never this confident. I don't even know if I should call it confidence, coming onto the screen like this. But yeah, I'm here, I'm doing it. But I didn't start from there. So
Mm.
you definitely grow in a lot of other ways. So thank you for that. Maybe, Nashli, can you add a bit more, maybe how people can connect with us and what they can expect? What information they can expect if
Amazing.
they want to be a part of this.
No, that's amazing. Thank you so much, ladies. And well, you heard that right. Ladies and gentlemen, no need for resumes. If you're thinking you gotta polish up a resume, this is not the place. You don't want your resume. You don't want the selection criteria. No, none of that. If you're hungry to learn, you're hungry to want to know more, to just simply get a better life for you, for your kids,
Yeah.
and give yourself that benefit of doubt to say you can do better. You can learn in a space where others encourage you, others motivate you, others also just help you grow in your own journey, in your own
Mm,
pace. Then this is the space. So we are all here, we are supporting each other, and plenty more in the background which you get to meet. So all you got to do now is definitely just visit any of the ladies websites you've got on our screens here, or drop us a comment, say start, and then we can send you, a link to yourself to register on our emails, to enter your name in your email for you to get a free webinar that you can then, dive in deep, watch what it says, because not every business for everyone, right? But I do believe that if you are one to want to start anything, do your due diligence, guys. It's not for us to come and tell you to start something, rather it's for you to come in, look at the facts. We've got a 30-day risk-free trial that you can see if this is going to work for you after you watch our webinar, so that you can be the judge of all the end. We are just here to help you and guide you once you are ready to start. And that's why we're all here, working moms, working parents, and alongside that we still are business owners. So if you are watching tonight or today, make sure you can feel free to check out that free webinar, check out our info session, and then get in touch with us. We can provide more information if you've got questions. That's what we're here for. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. I'll give it back to you,
uh,
Sharon.
awesome. You see why I love working with these ladies? They're just articulate, like to the T. Thank you, ladies. So thank you everybody for being with us tonight and yeah, being a part of this. Thank you, ladies, for sharing all your insights. That was amazing. And we hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.